Looking at law versus ethics, we must first consider what is the law and what are ethics. Starting with law, a law is a set of rules or practices formally recognized as a binding or enforced by a controlling authority. A law is made to protect rights, serve justice, and provide order in society, making sure that everyone feels welcome and safe in their environment. A law cannot be broken without penalty of some kind. This could mean a fine, jail time, a warning, or some sort of other penalty. Looking into ethics, ethics is a little different as it's a set of moral principles. It gives individuals a clear idea of right or wrong, good versus bad. These principles are often based on personal opinions, culture, or religion, meaning each person can have their own idea of ethics. It's based on conscience and doing the right thing without a set of formal rules, meaning everyone has the chance to conform their own idea of what their ethical rights are versus wrongs, allowing for a little more leeway than law, as it is not binding nor formally enforced. We must also consider that not all things that are ethical are legal, and not all things that are legal are considered ethical to all individuals. Looking first into examples of things that are legal but not necessarily ethical to all, this would mean cheating in a way that is legal on an online test using an AI form or collaborating with another individual or a teaching website or something of that sort. As if it is legal, there's no rules against it, but it is dishonest and it would violate academic integrity codes, which we do have here at Anderson, so all students must be familiar with that. Another thing, something a little different, is doing the bare minimum of a group project or no work at all, yet still taking the full credit for that project. Obviously, in this case, we know there's no binding rule against doing this, but as somebody who's had it happen, it's unfair, irresponsible, and rude because not putting in your portion of the work and leeching off the other individuals and still getting that same grade is not fair to those who really dedicated their time to making it happen. Next, ethical situations that are not legal. This could mean downloading a textbook free online. Everyone's probably done it at some point or another. But downloading it free online rather than getting an official copy or getting the recommended copy by your professor leads you to a potential copyright issue, which is illegal. But on the other hand, it's attempting to access the education and fairly participate in the class while having a financial hardship. You're staying in the barriers of what you have. And then another example, which could go either way, some depending on how you view things ethically or unethically. And this is parking in a handicap spot very briefly to help a friend move, unload, or kind of carry some sort of heavy object. Without a tag, parking in a handicap spot is illegal no matter the situation, no matter the time, but it is helping a friend, which is the right thing to do, and it's kind, and there was no intended harm often in this kind of situation, but we must consider it ethically versus legally. Next, we'll view the intersection or influence they have on each other. They align quite often, as we've seen. Ethics can influence laws. Laws can enforce or reinforce ethics, making people think of what the right thing to do would be versus the wrong thing, or illegal versus legal, that kind of thing. But it is true that illegal often means unethical. For many people, some people might not agree with all the laws, but we must view that that is a case in most situations. Next, examples of this, civil rights laws. As we know, we've seen it, we've all studied it. They are binding laws set in place, but they are often based on morals, ethics, and the right thing in treatment, in community, and all those sorts of things. Another thing that we're probably very familiar with in this data age is tracking and collecting data. Everyone that has a smartphone, laptop, uses internet browsers has gotten a notification asking if they can track you. And this could be both seen as unethical, but also in most cases it is legal. And companies are just trying to get a little more evidence on what they should do to improve or what needs to be fixed. And something in the college realm of things is Title IX, the bullying, stalking, and harassment clause that we have all been taught is a legal action that is taken against basically making someone feel uncomfortable, making them feel unwelcome, and it's very ethically surrounded, but it is a legal binding agreement. Looking into the AU Code of Conduct, it's a guide to being an ethically appropriate student. At Anderson, there is key traits. We live through God as a Christian university and understand the importance of this. The 5 pillars of excellence and loyalty relate to our dedication to the Lord, and it's in hopes that students would take this on and off campus as a consideration of how they act in their everyday life. Honesty and integrity is the first point. It means a student must commit themselves to honestly doing their academics and acting in relationships and in their careers, because it really is the baseline for trust and genuine growth by being fair and allowing for others to be able to trust you. Next is accountability, which is super important, as all good students must take ownership in their actions and choices. And acting with this principle, self-discipline and maturity increases by admitting you're wrong. Community. Students should dedicate themselves to serving others around them and participating in campus life, as it brings spiritual growth, but also a form of togetherness, allowing all to feel welcome. Going along with community is compassion. Students are called on to treat others with kindness and care, not because they have to or when someone's in need, but at all times, knowing that people have things going on and we must accept everyone as they are. A final pillar is a God-centered dedication. Having that in your mind is doing all things with intention, working to honor God in all that you do, academic, social life, personally, professionally, and just letting God be the center of all that we do.